Well, a year and a half after a Utah canine officer died inside a hot car, KSL investigators learned the vehicle was equipped with a system designed to prevent heat deaths.
Yeah, KSL investigator Courtney Johns started digging here to find out why it had not been used that day and how widely these systems are used in canine vehicles across the state. All right, Courtney, what'd you find?
Yeah, well, our public records request showed that the Utah Department of Corrections purchased that heat alert system 3 years before Loki's death, but the officers, they didn't know how to use it. And that is when we realized that we needed to ask other agencies not only if they had heat alert systems, but if the officers were trained on how exactly to use this life-saving equipment.
He's very good at having that on and off switch.
Max.
Yes. Between work mode and play mode.
Meet Max.
The name just fits.
Oh boy.
He's a 3-year-old Malinois Shepherd mix who has spent the last year working with Agent Roscoe Dixon with the Utah Department of Corrections.
I don't know how to explain it, but the bond I have with him is like none other.
Part of that bond is having each other's backs.
I'll pop that door right here.
Before Max even makes it into the car.
Making sure that the heat alarm works.
This is their heat alert system.
Going to here.
It works by setting an internal temperature that will set off an alert.
Every vehicle that we have is set at 87 degrees.
When the inside temperature hits 87, it triggers the windows, fans, pager,
There's that chirp.
and alarm.
Every dog, every handler will have their own vehicle set up exactly like you saw today.
Mike Schoenfeld is the Law Enforcement Bureau Chief for the Department of Corrections. He says they'll have 14 canine vehicles equipped with this system within a couple of months, costing just under $1 million.
It's not cheap to outfit those, but it's a great investment.
An investment he believes could have saved their canine Loki, who was left in a hot car for 3.5 hours on July 13th, 2023.
It was part of our family.
KSL Investigates discovered UDC purchased one heat alert system in 2020, which they installed 3 years later in 2023.
And it was the one that was where Loki died?
It is.
The day Loki died inside the vehicle, it was turned off. An investigation found no canine officer had been trained on how to use the system.
We kind of both have to take accountability for that, as an organization and as a canine unit.
Hired shortly after Loki's death, Schoenfeld says he has now updated their policy after reviewing policies across our state.
Talk to other canine handlers I know from agencies where I've worked before on how they make sure that they keep their dogs and their handlers safe.
The new policy will require annual training, and handlers will have to test their heat alert system before each shift. As his department works to equip all canine vehicles with the system, we asked 17 of Utah's largest law enforcement agencies what they're doing to keep their canines safe. All except Sandy responded. The other 16 telling us they do use heat alert systems. We also asked about policies to test the systems. Draper would not provide an answer. Orem said they didn't know if they were required to test. While the majority of agencies do require testing, frequency varied from daily to a few times a year. We also asked if those tests are documented, something corrections now requires. Salt Lake City wouldn't answer that question, and no other agency we spoke with said they document these tests.
Not only is it something that should be done, but it's having it documented helps protect us as well.
Dixon says he'll do whatever it takes
That's his now.
to protect his partner.
Kind of a trust and a confidence knowing that he's going to do his job and he's also going to have my back if I need it.
Now, after we asked about testing and documentation of those tests, the Weber County Sheriff's Office and the Department of Natural Resources followed up with us and said that they now plan on changing their policies. And we're going to continue to follow up with other departments on their policies, training, and efforts that they can make to keep their canines safe. Back to you.
Yeah, it's too bad the technology was in place for Loki and it just wasn't used. So yeah, hopefully this report and everything else, they make some changes there to make sure it doesn't happen again. Courtney, thank you.
Thanks.